Hi, my loves. Welcome back to the Starscartel channel. If you don't know, I am Star. Y'all, I am. I don't want to say I'm confused, but it is strange that this song is in my head because I did watch the movie. I think like what was that, last week or the week before that? It had to be last week because I was talking about it. I think it was last week. But the song, I woke up with this song in my head and I was not expecting it. Okay, y'all, at all. And the song is "The Journey" by um basically by Walt Disney, okay, performed by Shelby Flint. I'm just gonna go over the lyrics. The lyrics, ironically, are very simple, and the part that I hear in my head is not in the lyric sheet, and I don't know if she added her own ad libs or if there's an extended version that they just don't have online. I don't know, but anywho, it is, who will rescue me? Who will rescue me? Who will rescue me? I'm lost at sea without a friend. This journey, will it ever end? Who will rescue me? Rescue me, rescue me. Okay. And they have two other songs. I know it's not this one, the Rescue Aid Society little song that they got going on, even though I think it's really cute. Okay. But God said, read it anyway. Let me go ahead and read it anyway. Rescue Aid Society, head held high, touched aside. You mean everything to me. In a fix, in a bind, call us anytime. We'll appear from nowhere. Mighty are we. RESCUE, Rescue Aid Society. Honesty, loyalty, we pledge to thee. RESCUE, Rescue Aid Society. Heads held high, touch the sky. You mean everything to me. In a jam, in a scrape, and you think no escape. Do not fear, we'll be here. Courageous are we. Okay. And y'all know that's the beginning part. This part, like, I like that part. I don't know, like, y'all already know the child in me. I'm 32 years old, but I still enjoy this movie. But anyways, I'm calling my son into the room, like, look at the little mice and how they dressed with they peoples. It's just, anyways. And the last part is someone's waiting for you. Every child has many wishes that they wish when they're alone. Faith can work just like magic. Nothing changes when you're grown. Be brave, little one. Make a wish for each sad little tear. Hold your head up, though no one is near. Someone's waiting for you. Don't cry, little one. There'll be a smile where a frown used to be. You'll be part of the love that you see. Someone's waiting for you. Always keep a little prayer in your pocket, and you're sure to see the light. Soon there'll be joy and happiness, and your little world will be bright. Have faith, little one, till your hopes and your wishes come true. You must try to be brave, little one. Someone's waiting to love you. Okay, so the scripture comes from Isaiah 61 and 4. They shall rebuild the ancient ruins, the former waste they shall raise up, and restore the ruined cities desolate now for generations. Strangers shall stand ready to pasture your flocks, foreigners shall be your farmers and vine dressers. You yourselves shall be named priests of the Lord, ministers of our God you shall be called. You shall eat the wealth of the nations and boast of riches from them. Since their shame was double, and disgrace and spittle were their portion, they shall have a double inheritance in their land. Everlasting joy shall be theirs. For I, the Lord, love what is right. I hate robbery and injustice. I will give them their recompense faithfully. A lasting covenant I will make with them. Their descendants shall be renowned among the nations, and their offspring among the peoples. All who see them shall acknowledge them as a race the Lord has blessed. I rejoice heartily in the Lord, and my God is the joy of my soul. For he has clothed me with the robe of salvation and wrapped me in the mantle of justice. Like a bridegroom adorned with a diadem, like a bride bedecked with her jewels. As the earth brings forth its plants, and a garden makes its growth spring up, so will the Lord God make justice and praise spring up before all the nations. Okay, so here's the message. Here's the message. Here's the message. Um, I feel like this is for someone. If you are not an orphan, you feel like one. If you are not an orphan, you sure feel like one. You feel as though you have no inheritance. You feel as though no one really is concerned with you. You feel as though you may have had to raise yourself. You may feel that even if you grew up with parents, you may feel as though you had to teach yourself certain things. And even, as an adult, because the song says, even if you are grown, okay? Like, that's in the lyrics. I wasn't expecting that. Nothing changes when you're grown. Okay, so I feel like this is for someone as a child, regardless if God was telling you you're adopted, or if you just had this feeling that you were adopted, or you just had this feeling like you just did not fit. And this is going along with a dream I had last night. In this dream, I just I would go to different places wanting to be accepted. And I would travel to one place and I would try to fit in. And, I would try to change myself and mold myself so that I can fit in with everybody. And they still just did not like me. So I would leave and go somewhere else. And I tried to fit in with them. And they just did not like me. And then I would leave there and go. And it was just like over and over again. And then God spoke to me, as I was waking up and said, you cannot force what he has for you. This is something that you yourself cannot force. Even in this movie, Penny wanted to be adopted so bad. And she wanted to be loved so bad. That's all she wanted. And it's really such a sad movie, y'all. And y'all I have already opened my big mouth and said that this was my favorite movie growing up. But it's really sad to think that this little girl, all she wanted was somebody to love her. She was not concerned with that person being rich. She was not concerned with what they could buy her. She was not concerned even so much as to eat every day, because she went willingly with Medusa, because she just wanted somebody to love her. She wanted to feel wanted. She wanted to feel needed. She wanted to feel loved. And God is saying, if you are feeling this way and you're feeling as though you're an outcast, and no matter where you go, you just simply don't fit. No matter what you try to do, you still just don't fit. No matter, even if you go to different groups and you try to fit in with the group, the dancers, and they don't like you. And then you try to fit in with the artsy people, they don't like you. You try to go and you try to fit in with the people that are in love with football, the people that love basketball, and they don't like you. And then you're like, and then you try to go and you want to fit in with the beauty people, but they don't like you. And then you want to go and you want to fit in with this people, that people, and that people. And God is saying you are not meant to fit in. Sometimes you are simply not meant to fit in. Sometimes you are simply not meant to fit in. And every single thing that happens to us in this life, even if it's something like this where somebody was blessed with a baby and decided that they did not want to love the baby. They decided that they did not care about the baby. They decided that the baby was not important to them. God says, even if that happens to you, it is still a part of your story. And it is a reason that it happened. Just like in this scripture where it says, they shall rebuild ancient ruins. The former ways they shall raise up and restore the ruined cities, desolate now for generations. So God is saying that you may be in a situation where you don't understand why you have been left out in the cold. And God is saying, if you would just pause and stop trying to fit in with everybody for a second, he will be able to show you where he wants you to go and what he wants you to do. Because it says, their descendants shall be renowned among the nations, and their offspring among the peoples. All who see them shall acknowledge them as a race the Lord has blessed. So for whoever this is for, this could even be following you. Regardless if you know for a fact that you are an orphan, you know for a fact that you were adopted, you know for a fact that you did not grow up with your actual parents. And when you tell people that, they look at you a certain kind of way and they think that you must be cursed or this must have happened, or some people are like that. Some people are like that, and they will completely ignore I'm thinking about, like, God is reminding me of Count Olaf and how he would make people react to the Baudelaire orphans. And they weren't even poor orphans. They rich, had both of their parents. Lost their parents in a tragic fire. It wasn't even a situation that their parents just gave them away. It's a situation where their parents passed away, and now they had to deal with their accountant finding a place for the children to live. And in reality, their parents weren't expecting it. It was unexpected, and they weren't exactly. They were prepared, kind of, to an extent. They were rich people prepared. When you have a certain amount of money, where you have to make sure everything is in line. They were that kind of prepared, but they were not prepared to not be able to raise their children. And I just feel like God is saying, regardless if it's that kind of situation or it's the kind of situation where something happened to somebody, they had the baby, regardless if they wanted to or if it was by force, and they decided they did not want that baby around them. The baby reminded them of what happened to them, and they have a strong hate for the baby. God said that this may have been following you. It may have been having people look at you as if you are cursed. It may have been having people look at you as if you are no good, as if you are worthless, or as if you are meant for something else. And God said he did not call for you to be meant to be treated this way. Just like the little girl was just looking for love. But what did they do to her? They're starving her and forcing her to go into this dangerous cave to retrieve a diamond. And it's diamonds everywhere, rubies everywhere, all kind of stones in the cave. But she just got to have that one. It just got to be that one. She could have took all the ones that were easy for the little girl to get and got just the same amount of money. But no. She got to have the devil's eye. And, it's interesting that it was called the devil's eye, because money, the love of money, is the root to all evil. That was so evil that woman would make a little girl go down there like that, into that cave like that, and treat a little girl like that. Little girl already is heartbroken because she don't understand why her parents did not want her. She's already heartbroken because she couldn't figure out why her parents threw her away. And she doesn't understand, a child does not understand these things. And in reality, a lot of times, and I'm not coming on here, this is not a political statement in any shape, form, or fashion, okay? But, when a child is born from something like that, regardless to why the child was born or what happened, if it was the mother was forced into having the baby, or if the mother wanted to have the baby, then once she had the baby, she realized that she couldn't personally raise the baby because of how she feels about the baby. It's not the baby's fault. It is not the baby's fault. It is not the baby's fault. It is not the baby's fault. And God says that he looks at that child, he looks at that baby, and when he looks at that baby, he sees himself in that baby. He says that baby is a part of him, just like everybody else is. And he says their descendants will be called blessed. He says the child will be blessed. And I don't know who this is for, but God is saying, even though you feel alone in this world, even though you feel as though you just don't fit in anywhere, even though there is some kind of heavy, like you feel like there's a heavy cloud over you, and every time you try to snatch a bit of happy, something happens to take the cloud, to make the cloud come back. Every time the sun starts peeking through, something happens to bring the cloud back. Regardless if this is someone that is going around being vindictive, okay, regardless if it's, I'm seeing right now a situation where someone is going off and trying to have a happy life, trying to live their life peacefully, and this mother or father or whoever is following them. Like, I feel like like it's a situation where like somebody may be following and saying, hey, I don't know if you know, but this happened to me and that's how they were born. This happened to me and that's how they came into life. And I think you should know that. And in reality, God is like, for what? What does it matter? And if you care so much, why didn't you take care of it's just like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like this person has such a strong hate for the baby. They have such a strong hate for the baby. They have such a strong hate for the baby. May have even gave the baby away for adoption. And still insist on harassing the child. Insist on stalking the child. And this is, in reality, it's kind of like, it's a thin line between love and hate. This is their way. It's like their twisted love. Like they love the child, because if they didn't, they wouldn't care. If they had no emotion and no attachment to the child at all, they would not care. But they care in a weird way. Their way of caring is evil. Their way of caring is construed. They want awful things to happen to the child because awful things happen to them in order for the child to be born. But God said that is not that baby's fault. It is not the child's fault. It is not the child's fault. It is not the child's fault. And God said what he said. Regardless to who is going to be upset, who is going to be mad, this child will be blessed. Their children will be blessed. And God says he is going to send out a team of angels to make sure that they get to where he wants them to be. You yourselves shall be named priests of the Lord, ministers of our God you shall be called. You shall eat wealth of the nations and boast riches from them. God said that even like this person will even try to make it seem as though it's impossible that this child could love God. It's impossible that this child could be favored by God. And God is looking like God makes every decision that he makes. Nobody is going to come to him and say, well, I don't think that you should be blessing this person because of this, that, and the third. If it wasn't meant for the baby to be here, they wouldn't. And that's the end of it. If it was not meant for the child to have life, they wouldn't be here. The only reason the baby was born is because God touched the womb. So the audacity of somebody to fix their mouth to say, oh, well, it's impossible. You can't love God and you can't be of God. Like, it's kind of like this person is looking at this child as if the baby is a demon and the baby is evil. No, the person that did that evil act, they were the demon. They were possessed with the demon. The baby that was born is not a demon. The baby that was born is a blessing. And regardless if whoever this is for, regardless if you were adopted and you had a family that was taking care of you, or if you were living in an orphanage, God says it does not matter. You will be blessed. Regardless if a family decided to take you in and give you their name and love you, and this person has steady been they may have even been trying to infiltrate that. They may have been trying to harass that and mess that up and try to cause all kind of problems for you. God says, do not worry about them. He will deal with them. Just like at the end of that movie, Medusa ended up going where? To jail. She finally got the diamond in her hands and the diamond went in a museum and she went to jail. And a little girl went off to be adopted by a nice, happy family. And she lived a beautiful life. And, I just feel like God is saying that this is not what was meant. It's not that it's meant for this person to deal with this. No, it's not meant for somebody to be, to deal with whatever happened in order for the baby to be born. And then have the baby. And then have to be tormented for the rest of their lives. But in reality, this is why God says forgiveness is not for the other person. It is for you. And this person has not found it in their hearts to forgive the person that hurt them. And now they are pushing off this anger and this resentment on a child that did nothing to them. Now they are trying to terrorize this child's life. Now they are trying to ensure that the life of this child is miserable. God says that he is not going to allow that. Now, as for the child, whoever this is for, okay, this child, okay, I wasn't even meaning to say all that. I'm going to be real and say that I was not. Because the message for the child is, whoever this is, you are adopted or you feel like you adopted. You feel like you just don't fit in. You feel like every time you are trying to fit in with some kind of group, you just don't fit, and you don't understand why. It's like some kind of rumor is following you. It's like some kind of spirit is harassing you. God says, make a wish, it's going to come true. Put your wish and write down your wish and make your wish. It will come true. Make a wish and it will come true. Make a wish and it will come true. Be careful what you wish for. Write it down. Make out your wish, exactly what you want, and it will come true. God says you will be blessed. Your descendants will be blessed. This is somebody, you're going to be wealthy. You are going to be wealthy. God says you will have victory. So will the Lord God make justice and praise spring up before all the nations. God says you will receive justice for how your life has turned out. Because it is not just because you were born into a messed up situation doesn't mean your life is just meant to be miserable forever. Just because you were born in a messed up way doesn't mean that it is meant for you to be this child that is tormented and tortured and you just feel depressed for the rest of your life. God does not intend for any of his children to live that way. And, God is saying, once again, make a wish and your wish will come true. Make a wish and your wish will come true. Yeah. That's the message. And if you, once again, I'm going to add this too. If this is for you and you know that you adopted, you know who your real person, your real parent is, or you have an idea that somebody, whatever it is, leave them. Leave them. Okay? If you feel in your heart, you got to take this to God. But if you feel in your heart that this is for you and that this person has been trying to destroy your life since you were born, God says, leave them. He is already dealing with them. Whatever pain that they are feeling, it is not because of you. A lot of times, this is their punishment for how they're treating you. It could simply be their punishment for how they're treating you. It could simply be they feel guilt. I just feel like the craziest thing is crazy because they feel guilt. I'm thinking about how the man that was in this movie, the man was like, well, she says that it's wet down there and she's nervous that her teddy bear is going to get wet. And it's like he was trying to admit some kind of concern. And then Medusa was like, no, you have to force her down there. And, it's even, I just feel like God is saying that this person may be going back and forth with their own emotions. A part of them hates the child and a part of them loves the child. And that, it's sad, but they have to work on that themselves. They need to heal themselves. They need to figure that out for themselves. And that's just what it is. They have to figure that out for themselves. And I'm going to also say that I as somebody that has not experienced that, I can honestly say that I can understand why it will be very difficult to have went through something so traumatic, because I have went through that. I have been through traumatic things in my life. I've already talked to y'all about that. And it's like this person has a mixture of feelings, okay? Whoever this parent is has a mixture of feelings. They don't know how they feel. One day, they don't know how they feel. They love you, but they don't. They care, but they don't. They're concerned, but they don't. They may even do things to get you caught up in a snare, and then they themselves pull you out of it. They don't know how they feel. And God is saying that he is dealing with them. But as for you, make a wish, it will surely come true. Make a wish, it will surely come true. Make a wish, it will surely come true. God says he has put a star out for you tonight. Make a wish, it will surely come true. Whatever. God says it is not meant for you to live in misery. It is not meant for you to live in mourning. And it is not meant for you to be sad and having hardship after hardship after hardship. And he wants to put an end to that. Okay? God telling me go back to the lyrics, okay? Have faith, okay? Every child has many wishes that they wish when they're alone. Faith can work just like magic. Nothing changes when you're grown. God is saying just because you are grown does not mean that he is not listening to you anymore. Somebody, you may have witnessed this as a child. You would wish for things and it would come true and you would be shocked. God says just because you are an adult does not mean he is not listening to you anymore. Okay. In a jam, in a scrape, and you think no escape. Do not fear, we'll be here. Courageous are we. Okay, God says he is sending down his angels to rescue you. He is sending down his angels to help you. This is somebody that feels like they are so alone. They feel like they are so sad. You feel like your heart is just confused, and you may even have gotten to a point to where you are numb to bad things happening to you. And God says you are not meant to be that way. He did not call for you to be that way. It is not normal for somebody to go through a traumatizing experience and not shed one tear. It is not normal for someone to go through traumatized after traumatizement after traumatizement after traumatizement. God says it is not normal. And he has put it in you for you to be strong enough to deal with it. But it is not normal. And for somebody, that's all you want is just a tiny little hint, just a piece of normal. You don't understand why your life feels as though it is not normal. God says it's not. But he's going to fix that for you. Make a wish. It surely will come true. That's the message. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.